Amazon primes your ears for some tunes. Welcome to TVS, where you get multiple reviews for the price of one. Today, we're taking a look at the Amazon Prime Music Service. So let's get right into it. Clyde, you want to tell us a little bit about this product?
Yeah. So, music is Amazon's attempt to compete with services such as Spotify and Tidal. And it's offered in three tiers: free, prime, and unlimited. Free is similar to Pandora. You can only listen to pre-programmed channels and or playlists. Prime gives you access to 2 million songs, personalized stations, and ad-free unlimited plays. But Unlimited boasts 90 million songs, as well as higher fidelity, including HD, Ultra HD, and spatial audio. I'll go ahead and start off. We'll talk about the fit and finish, or the UI. Right off the bat, the mobile app and the desktop apps are fine. They look and function like you would expect an app to function. But once I connected it to Android Auto, I found it absolutely useless. And the reason is up until we tried this, I had never used it. The Android Auto interface doesn't give you an option to search. There's no way to browse. All you can do is look through your music history or stations based on your listening history or their recommendations. I looked in their recommendations and there was not a single thing that I would ever even consider listening to. So then I had to open it up on my phone, which, since I was connected to Android Auto, it threw me into the car mode, which removes all of the useful features on the mobile app. So yeah, it's fine as long as you've been using it for a while and you've built up a reputation. Otherwise, I couldn't use it for the first
I
couple days.
tried the Android Auto features of it too, and noticed something similar to that, where I didn't have enough stuff previously done on it for it to really be useful. And even when I tried to bring up something I've listened to before, it was not a perfect transition for me either. But I suspect if after a while, if I downloaded things, it would work better. But I want to talk about the rest of the app. I was using it on Android, obviously, and the UI team at Amazon is pretty darn good at what they do. They've done a great job of making this app look very appealing. It's really easy to read. The font is great, for example. It's got a simple navigation, which I prefer, not being overly complicated. It's mostly back button to go back, and four or five different buttons on the bottom to do pretty much everything you want to do. There's even a cool X-ray feature, which is pretty slick and fun. It will show you things from like lyrics or special information about, say, a band you're listening to. So if you're into that kind of thing, it's works out really well. And also, if you like Alexa, even if you don't have one of those kind of devices of any kind, you can we'll be able to use that Amazon Assistant directly within this app. So it's not bad.
Yeah. I've used all of the iterations of this because I am an Amazon Unlimited family subscriber. So the difference between Unlimited and Unlimited Family is simply that you can play on multiple devices simultaneously. So on the Unlimited individual plan, which is $10 a month, that limits you to one device at a time. So effectively one device. Like, you can listen to multiple devices in the same home with the same song. So like, I can have the living room and kitchen playing at the same time, but I can't have my own Amazon Music playing on my phone at work while my wife or kids are listening to something at home.
Oh,
So that's where the family comes into play.
okay.
So we've had it for quite a while because my wife and older daughter and myself all use Amazon Music to some extent or another. The 5 devices, the 5 different kind of like modes of utilization that I've used the web app, the desktop app, the mobile app, the Android Auto integration, and the Amazon Alexa integration. So I've managed it in all these different ways, and I can say visuals are really good, functionality wise, UI, everything is really solid in those 4 standard functional the 3 standard functionalities: website, desktop, and mobile app. The website and desktop app are effectively identical, and depending on the size of your device, is really going to influence whether, like, the mobile, if it's like on a tablet, it looks quite a bit like the desktop and website apps. In a phone, it looks a fair bit different, but functionality is pretty similar, and universally, I would say, very good. So from a functionality perspective, that's all good. I would say that there's some challenges with the Alexa controls. I'll talk a little bit more about that in functionality, and some other functionality concerns about the mobile app. You already mentioned the issues with the fit and finish of the Android Auto, though. Like, yeah, you lose a lot of the functionality that's so nice in the other apps, and it's not even as good as like the YouTube Music integration is in the Android Auto.
And that would be forgivable if their car mode was any decent, and it's okay, but it's not good.
See, and this is something that I've been yelling about Spotify, is they add more stuff and they bury the stuff I'm trying to get to. It makes their mobile app, their car app, dangerous, because now you have to stare at the screen digging to find stuff. Well, Amazon fixed that by just removing everything. So there's nothing to dig for. You either
good job, Amazon,
have something to listen to, or you don't. Which kind of leads me into the functionality. Right off the bat, I like the fact that they added a feature that I have been begging Spotify to add, which is a toggle switch to choose between music and podcasts. They are segregated into different areas, and that is exactly what I want. The problem is there doesn't appear to be any existing integration between this app and Android Assistant. As I was driving around, multiple times I requested Android Auto or just Google to play the band, let's say play the band Fellowship on Amazon Music. And it would sit there, and it would because it said the keyword, I will ask Amazon Music to do that, which tells me it's not integrated. Because when I say the same thing but on Spotify, it just says, okay, playing now, because it's the integration's there. So gotcha. 3 bands, 2 bands I didn't expect Amazon to know. Fellowship, I asked them to play Fellowship. It played Herb Alpert after it sat there for 5 minutes. It's like, okay, this is not any close. So then I did it again, and I did it both. I was requesting for both services because for my next point, I did it again with Gathering of Kings, and it eventually played it's some random music company. They is essentially the ones that made our old theme song. It played another song from that album. I don't even know where that came from. The third one, I asked for Cain's Offering, which I know for a fact is on Amazon because they're in my past history from when I tried this app 2 years ago. That time it just sat there and it didn't do anything.
Oh,
But my other for functionality, my main complaint aside from the music selection lacking is I don't think it's got good music quality.
Hmm.
This is to say I tried to try the free tier, but I'm a Prime member. So it automatically put me on Prime. But when I tried to dismiss the free trial of the thing, it didn't want to respond to my presses and then eventually just accepted. So I am on the unlimited.
oh,
So I picked an album that was in Ultra HD, the new album by Ghost. I had it playing on Spotify, the same tracks on Spotify and on Amazon Music, and I would switch back and forth. The Amazon one, it sounds really tinny, but has a lot of bass.
hmm.
To the point that I realized, oh wait, my car has a subwoofer. I never even realized my car had a subwoofer because I don't normally hear it. So the way they've got their music EQ'd is not good for what I was listening to. And at first I thought it was just maybe it was me, but I started A/Bing it between Spotify, and Spotify's music isn't the best highest quality, but it sounded better. It was it's probably mixed for rap and R&B stuff that is very accentuated bass and want more vocal mid-range. Yeah. So I don't know.
Okay. Well, for me, I tried the free tier because that's what I wanted to do. It comes with ads, and for music listening, the music plan is similar to how Pandora works. It allows you to basically create a radio station based on a song.
Mhm.
If you can choose a song or an artist, and it'll try to generate a playlist that is similar to that type of music. And my first attempt at doing this didn't go so well. I picked. I wanted to have something that was electronic, techno, whatever you want to say. But the point was, I wanted to have no words in it because I often want to have an environment where I'm not listening to words while I'm working. I can work better without having to sing along. It unfortunately it picked up. It didn't pick what up I was trying to do. As songs were coming up with words and I was thumbs downing it, it would then move on to another song, but it wasn't picking up the fact that I was thumbs downing all the songs that had heavy lyrics of any kind. So, and I don't know if it was taking these likes, dislikes, and applying them to my current station, or if it was affecting the algorithm for all of my listening of the system. I really wish all the music services would state that clearly of how those would work, because that would help me greatly and better of my shaping of the algorithm for my use. Because sometimes I do want the lyrics, guys. Sometimes that is what I want. Okay, but I tried it again, but with the general genre, I just picked Stone Temple Pilots, and I got lots of alternative / grunge rock, which is what I wanted in that case, and I was worked out just fine for me. So maybe if you're not trying to do something specific like find only wordless music, that will work for you. Well, so here's the other side of that story. As a podcast app, I had problems. The system seemed to work as advertised. You know, you subscribe to podcasts; they have many of them in their lists. But there was a couple of things that bothered me. First of all, I couldn't figure out how to add a custom RSS feed, which is something that should be based on every single any quote unquote podcast app. You should be able to go. I don't care how good your library is. There's a podcast out there that there isn't in your library, unless you are, I don't know, there's something out there you wish you could add. The RSS feed's there for that. We should still be able to do that. Strike one. Second thing is that the app using the podcast version of the app in the car seemed to work great, except for I pressed the button on my steering wheel to skip 30 seconds and it skips the whole episode of the podcast, which is exactly the wrong thing to do. I understand that makes sense for music, but Amazon, there's a difference. You know, there's those times where I already heard this skip, skip, skip. Oh, he's talking about an ad. Skip, skip, skip. I want to be able to do that.
You just now skipped through 3 different podcasts and you don't know which
Exactly.
ones you skipped.
The wrong thing to do. So yeah, that was a problem. So strike 2.
Yeah. Well, for me, I have never used the podcast app at all, but I have used obviously the music very extensively. I will say your comment, Clyde, about audio quality does surprise me a little bit. I feel like the audio quality on most of the devices I use works pretty good.
I have a theory
will
suddenly.
say that can make a difference. That would definitely make a difference to my enjoyment. But it sounds good in like my Jabra earbuds or my Bose speakers at my computer. I will admit it is a little bassier than than like when I listen to YouTube music, but the audio quality is very comparable in my opinion between YouTube music and Amazon music.
My instant theory behind this is that they tuned the music playback for Amazon Alexa speakers.
Probably.
Yeah, and I do have. I'm listening to it only predominantly in 3 places: on an Echo device, in my car, or with my earbuds.
That would
the Jabra earbuds. The Jabra earbuds have various settings, and maybe part of the built-in equalizer of that helps. I do agree that it would make total sense that it's tuned well for Echo devices.
And
though.
yeah, and that's probably, like I said, I'm pretty sure they're EQing everything for a specific, whereas Spotify gives it to you flat.
Yeah.
So that works for me because, yeah, I could probably go into the EQ settings of my radio and change it, but the problem is that's just going to jack up everything else that's already set for.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't listen to my metal music in the car. Generally, it's one of my it's my wife or daughter's music that's playing when we're in the car. If I'm by myself and I do listen to music in the car, I'm almost always using YouTube music because it has a much better feel for my personal preference, which gets down to some of the features and functionality that I think are really worth talking about. The first is, I already mentioned that with the family account, you can have multiple devices. Until recently, and I don't remember how recently, maybe even a year or year and a half ago, but I've had this for a very long time. So for many years, they didn't offer, even with the family plan, any kind of profiling. So that meant that my daughter's music and my wife's music, which are kind of similar, but totally different than my power metal stuff, were like, I would be like, okay, I want to listen to Nightwish, and then suddenly the next song is Ed Sheeran, which there's nothing wrong with Ed Sheeran. Not what I normally listen to by myself, but it's not bad music. It also doesn't make sense to play that right after. And so, you know, that's a bit of an annoyance. I still get a little bit of that when I just like do random. If I like play my playlist, it still does quite a bit of that. Right. Now we have profiles set up, and it's getting better over time because it's realizing my profile doesn't do this. But the problem is my profile is the house's profile. So from all the Echo devices in the house, it still gets the recommendations.
You've poisoned your algorithm.
A little bit, but it does seem to recognize which device listens to which music. When I say play music in my office, it plays more hard rock metal type music. If I say it in the living room or in the kitchen where my wife generally listens or my daughter listens while she's doing homework or something, then it plays pop rock. It's interesting. So it does have some sort of memories and profiles. They probably built that to work for them before they added the profile functionality. Anyways, it's an annoyance. Glad that it's finally here. If you started now, you'd probably be fine. It is worth noting you only get 3 profiles, 3 family members with the family plan though. So my younger daughter doesn't have her own profile, which is fine because she doesn't use YouTube Music. She uses YouTube. Anyway, other things that I think are worth mentioning are like I said, the ability to play on multiple devices. And now I want to mention a couple of functionality concerns though. First of all, the mobile app. I mean, the mobile app works really well. It does everything the way I would like it to do, except it's a little bit like stage 4 cancer.
What?
You try to excise it and it may just pop up sometime shortly down the road.
Wait, are you
out of
saying
nowhere.
What do you mean?
Are you saying that now that I've installed it on my phone, I will possibly delete it in the future and it will come back to haunt me?
No, but you may close the app and it may come back when you turn your car on and decide that suddenly it wants to play a song you were listening to 3 days ago, even though the last thing you used was YouTube Music, even though you actually went in and closed the recent apps and killed it from there. There is no way to confidently kill the Amazon Music application. Even restarting your phone doesn't do it.
That
Actually, it does.
may not be Amazon's fault in that case.
It actually does. It does kill it if you restart. But like, come on, you should not have to freaking restart your phone in order to get an app to stop popping up everywhere you go all the time. Nothing you can do can stop it at times. It's not 100%, but it's driven us crazy on occasion where like my wife had Amazon Music going and then we wanted to like listen to something on YouTube that was like an actual YouTube video that somebody recommended to us. And she would close it down, disconnect, no matter what she did. Like when she hit the play on the YouTube app, it would suddenly start playing Amazon Music. I'm like, what in the crap is going on? This is insane.
Let me ask, did you call an exorcist?
We have not yet, but that's the next step. So that's a bit of an annoyance, and it's only the app. Everything else works fine, but you don't want it to just keep popping up out of the blue. Especially, I mean, I don't listen to explicit music, but it would be really uncomfortable to just suddenly have something explicit pop up when you're like in your car with your mom or your mother-in-law or your daughters or something. Again, not really a problem I have. I mean, there are a few songs that like Demons Are a Girl's Best Friend, probably not going to listen to that with my younger daughters around. But it's subtle enough that you could change the chant. You could mute that quick enough. It's not like a bunch of cuss words, right? So that's the kind of thing that would annoy me. And then one other really big functionality issue that I had was the licensing of the musics for download. So I don't travel a lot. And so what's happened is I would download all the music I want to go on a trip so I can listen to it on the plane, for example. And 6 months later, I go to travel again and I have to refresh the licenses on all the music that I've downloaded.
Okay.
Sounds plain and normal. However, about 75% of the time that I've tried it, it fails completely. I have to delete every single song completely from my phone and re-download all of it. So trick for other people, if you are going to be traveling and using this as an app on your phone, make a playlist for your flight music so you can just download the whole playlist and plan enough ahead that you can do that. But yeah, because I don't use Amazon Music downloads on a regular basis at all, only when I fly and travel. I find that insanely annoying. So that many times I've gotten on the plane and been like, come on, hurry, we're about to take off, download more music. They need to fix that licensing issue. It kind of breaks the app for frequent, well, maybe not frequent travelers, but people that travel semi-frequently on occasion.
So I think that leads right into the value. In regards to the value of this, I think it really depends. Are you someone that is 100% all in on the Amazon ecosystem? Is Jeff Bezos your life guru? Do you have an extensive audio library that you have purchased on Amazon? Because that's something that we haven't talked about. That is integrated in. You have access to that, which is nice. I've got the entire every album that Mojo Nixon ever put out because he gave it away free on Amazon at one point. So, I've got a bunch of stuff which I could listen to, but the thing is, I don't want to. If you're one of these people, then yeah, it's probably a great value, especially at the Prime, because if you're already a Prime member, it's included. It doesn't cost you anything. If not, I don't think the value is there. There's probably a better option in your preferred ecosystem, because the unlimited is about the same price as Spotify and all the other options. So
yeah, so I have to compare this to the value of what I pay for my Google services. And for Google, I pay for the family YouTube Premium / YouTube Music package, which is $15 a month. And so for that same cost, I think you get the unlimited family pack. You can get the same for that. You get essentially a very similar music experience, in my opinion, a better podcasting experience, and unlimited YouTube videos with no ads for that cost. And also 5 profiles versus 3 for Amazon for some reason. For me, it's kind of hard to beat that from Google.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta largely mirror what you're saying. I think if you're just looking at purely music apps, then they're all about the same value, right? Like they all offer pretty good quality music for low or modest prices, and the prices are pretty much the same. I also pay for YouTube Premium for my family as well. So I pay the same amount, the 15 or whatever it is, probably $60 a month now. I don't know. And the Amazon Prime. So here's my thing though. I completely agree with you. I would not have Amazon Prime Music or Amazon Music at all if it wasn't for all of my Echo devices, like you said, Clyde. I have Echo devices all throughout the house, Amazon Fire TVs and things like that. So the integration of Amazon Music across all of the devices is better than any of the other music solutions, in my opinion. That said, YouTube, I almost exclusively use YouTube Music for myself, and I definitely want to not have ads on my YouTube videos. So I'm getting that there. So for my family, it would not be a value if we weren't also kind of an Amazon household. So if you're not an Amazon household, it's not a great value. If you are, you probably want this. Though you could get away with using Spotify, which is fairly well integrated as well.
So then, Michael, would you recommend this?
If you're an Amazon family, I'd recommend it. Most other people, I feel like you'd be better off with Spotify for a few bucks less, or going with YouTube Music and Prime.
I'm pretty sure that's the sentiment across the board, right?
Well, I know that it's going to be a no for me for Amazon Prime Music. Not really my kind of thing.
But
so.
would you could you recommend it to anybody? Find a reason to recommend it.
For me, the recommendation would be if you are the kind of person who you're really deep into that Amazon ecosystem, and knowing famously I am not, so
Exactly.
it's definitely a no for me.
See, and that's what I was getting at. I think all three of us have the same sentiment that recommend only if you are an Amazon diehard.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's probably something better suited for you.
No,
There.
Mhm.
that's what you would probably think, and that's what we think. But maybe your thoughts are different than ours. You should let us know down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's absolutely free, and it helps the show, our channel, grow. So which is a good thing. If you'd like to support us, you can find a link to our Patreon down in the description below as well. And we will see you next time.